Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a beautiful day here in Homestead, Miami Speedway for the Season 4 finale. It's LIMECAR race day. We're pre-race before the Championship 400 here at the 1.5 mile Speedway, set to take place for what will decide our Season 4 championship. I'm Tyson Gifford alongside Dominic Anthony, Sean McKean, and Garrett Lamar, two drivers and one of our team owners who have graciously joined us here in the booth today. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a long season. Unfortunately, not the best for me, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends today.
I'm doing good as well, and I'm just ready to get the show on the road,
Doing great. I'm sitting pretty up at the top, and I'm not looking to go back down. Let's get this going.
Well, let's get into it. Dominic, you said that you had a little bit of a rough season. How's the season gone so far for you guys this season? And you guys have Henrik Woe in the championship hunt, but what are you thinking needs to improve over the offseason, and what positives can you look at for this season?
Yeah, Season 4 has certainly been our worst season as a team. Obviously yet to win a race. Have one more chance to do that today. Henry has an outside shot at the title, but it's a very small possibility. So obviously not ideal. I would say the speed in both the 17 and the 47 have been pretty good all season. I think it's just going to be about minimizing bad luck. I mean, if you look through the results of every race, when they finish, the finishes are good. They're up in the top 10, top 15 pretty much every week. It's just we have too many sub 30th place finishes from just mechanical failures and crashes and stuff like that. And then for the other two cars, the 27 and 37, it's really kind of a tale of two seasons. The 37 started off pretty strong and then kind of tapered off in the second half, and kind of vice versa for the 27. Richard has really come on strong recently. So it's just going to be about putting a whole season together and minimizing the worst finishes next year.
Absolutely, and it seems like that's been the tale for a lot of teams this year, especially you, Sean. First time as a team owner this season. Learning season seems like it's gone well. You've been a veteran in seasons past, but you kind of went back to square one. Started your own team, started basically from the ground up. You did have an alliance with Bones Motorsports. How's that all gone for you, and what takeaways can you take away from the 17 races we've had before you come into the last race of the season?
Yeah, it's been a struggle at times, especially sometimes we just lack pace, have issues. Sometimes I'll crash the car, which is not obviously ideal, but that's just what's going to happen when you're doing your very first season, something like this. I initially drove in the first two seasons, then went away for other ventures, came back, and it was almost a completely new landscape. And then you add on top of that I'm running my own operation here, so it's been a struggle. But the pace has been promising. Notably, Watkins Glen, we were running pretty good up until the overtime restart, with everything happening at the chicane. And even Talladega, we finished 14th. We just generally had a clean day, and that's what we desperately need, especially with how much mechanical issues and crashes that have befallen us. So, yeah, I'm looking forward for next season. I think we're building something good.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear that, and glad to see that you guys over at the Chances Are Sports Bar Motorsports LLC group will be able to continue on for next year in the number 67. And then Garrett, honestly, a privilege I wish that we were able to have more of our championship contenders here in the panel, but great to have our points leader here. This season has been a remarkable success for you, a notable step up this season. What can you attribute to your success this year and this season with you currently leading the points?
Well, I think it's a lot of team chemistry. Last year had a new pit crew, knew everything, had to learn all the guys' habits, learn everything they do in the garage, learn what they like after the races, and as a result, we've become a pretty tight-knit unit over at the 13 crew, and it is paying off big time. We have really made a step forward across the board, and it's really helped us to get to this point to where we are now. We've worked hard to get to this point, and I look forward to trying to pay it off for them.
Absolutely. And we'll dive right into our championship contenders here. Let's start off. We just talked to you, Garrett. We'll have you set out this one, but Sean and Dom, first in points for Garrett, consistency in pit crew has really been the big struggle this season. Not as much as last year, but pit crew, we've seen time and time again that that 13 crew has kind of failed them at the wrong moments. But 3 wins on the year, races where it all comes together, it seems like are the races that he wins. He's got a pretty healthy points lead here. You guys think? I mean, Disquarius Greenhouse Jr. has no wins, but he's just so wickedly consistent right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to our full-on predictions later on in the show, but I really like Garrett Lamar today. He doesn't have to do a lot. He seals it with a top 7 finish. He doesn't need to go out and win. He just needs a solid day. I think he's more than capable of doing that.
Yeah, I think with Disquarius Greenhouse Jr., excuse me, I think winning would be the thing he needs to do most. I mean, yes, he's been consistent, and that's what's gotten him here. He's not too far off Lamar, but you know, if you want to take that next step and try to take this title out from under him, you're going to have to win at Homestead. So you just have to hope they unload off the trailer good.
Absolutely. And you look at someone like Michael Guthrie, 3rd in points. No wins on the season for him this year, but he got 2 wins last season and won the in-season tournament last season. He can show that he has that clutch gene to be able to convert in key moments, especially at Gateway, where it's a 1v1, where he won against Ricardo Garcia last season. So you look at Greenhouse in 2nd, Guthrie in 3rd. Guthrie's got a little bit of a drop-off behind Disquarius Greenhouse Jr., but I would have to say, if you're looking at somebody that's within this top 3 who realistically have the best shot of winning this title, I would say Guthrie is maybe the strongest opposition towards Lamar rather than Disquarius. Disquarius does have the results, has all the top 5s, top 10s, highest average finish of the season, but no wins. No wins for either of these Astolfo Motorsports cars. The only Astolfo car to win this season has been Aris Yuko.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Even though he's further back, I definitely like Guthrie's chances more than Greenhouse's. A, he was a title contender all the way to the final race last season, so he's been here before. He knows what it's like. And B, as we've said about Greenhouse, he really needs a win, and he hasn't done that yet. Obviously, Guthrie doesn't have a win this season either, but he has 2 in the past, and he's been close to numerous others. You know, I just think he has the experience that Greenhouse doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, looking behind into 4th in points, you have Santiago Nicolas. Going into this season, I can't say I was expecting Nicholas to still be in this position. I mean, yeah, he's shown great pace on those plate tracks and has won multiple races, but it wasn't up until this year, you know, races like Nashville where he led laps and things like that, where I truly took him seriously as a title contender. So him making it this far, I'm surprised, but also not. I don't know if that makes sense, but point being that he's shown a lot this season.
Yeah, he's definitely had races outside of his win at the 500, his win at Armory Digital, almost swept through 3 plate races. He's had races outside of it. Garrett, I'm sure you can attest, running up front, this 83 has been a little bit of a thorn in everybody's side, especially towards the second half of this season, where he's really come out strong as a whole.
Yeah, whenever he gets up front at these plate races, oftentimes people just start to think it's over, because it seems like he can see the air when he gets out there. It's really just, it's mesmerizing watching him control the field up there. So I'm not surprised that he's still in it this far. Those plate wins certainly help, but he's more than that, and I think he's going to show it today.
Absolutely. The speed last week definitely can convert. A little bit of a medium banked, kind of a faster intermediate like Nashville. Homestead's pretty similar. And then we move on to 5th place in points. Reigning champion Christopher Murnell. The title defense, especially second half of the season. Back-to-back wins. Watkins Glen and Charlotte. Guys, I thought we had the back-to-back wins at those 2 races. I thought it was over. I thought it'd be Murnell running away. But since then, just hasn't been... It feels like the Christopher Murnell from Season 1 and Season 2 that just can't stay consistent.
Yeah, and really for the first part of the season, it was CRT as a whole that looked like they were going to run away with it. They had the top 4 in points locked out at one point. Obviously, Cook and Gordoff have fallen out of contention entirely now, and even Marnell has really collapsed in the second half of the season. So it's still going to end up working out for them, likely with Garrett Lamar being in a really strong position. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the 23 car.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with that. And, he's kind of let Aris Yuko, get to right behind him. He's sitting sixth in points. He's been around the block before. He has 3 wins, but has not as struggled as of late in scoring points. It's the same story as Marnell, but it's one of those deals where it would take a miracle to make it happen. It's not impossible, but he would need a lot to make this happen.
Last 5 races for Marnell: 35th, 4th, 35th, 36th, and 5th. That just doesn't. Even if he's able to come close, that just doesn't scream title contender to me, especially coming down the stretch. You look at everybody else's finishes too. You take out Talladega, which would take away a win from Lamar, but everybody else has finished within the top 20, 21 in these races, except for Aris Yuko, who suffered an engine failure at Kansas. As we do speak about Yuko, 3 wins, most in his career in a season, currently sitting 3 wins, but he's just had, much like Marnell, I think this was more of a full season kind of overarching thing. Every time Yuko's on the track, he's a threat to win. He got that win earlier this season, and then was able to convert at Indianapolis, and then also convert last week at Nashville. Kind of the intermediate tracks that 54 is just really, really solid at. But outside of those 3 wins, it feels like the 54 just isn't able to convert towards the top. He only has 7 top 10s this season, and 5 of those are top 5s.
Yeah, like you said, I think he's definitely lacking in consistency. But even so, I would say this is Astolfo Motorsports' best season so far. They have 3 cars in the top 6. The 4th car is on the pole for today. So they're good all across the board there. Obviously, Yuko probably wants to see more consistency from his own 54 team, but 3 wins is nothing to scoff at. And, I mean, he's in with a shot. It's an outside shot, but it's still better than 30 other guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's what... Sorry. That's what I was just saying with Yuko. I know the late finishes have been suboptimal, but, it shouldn't detract from the season he's had. It's just been a matter of things not going his way. Yeah, that's all I had to say there.
And then Henry Guo, our last title contender. I mean, besides season 2, I would have to say Guo has probably been one of the more consistent title threats every season. Won the championship in season 1, had to overcome a little bit of a points deficit. Sean, I know you were a part of that championship battle in season 1. Season 2 wasn't the greatest for the 47. Renumbered the 1, I'm pretty sure, that season. But then season 3, season 4, that 47's been up front. So Dominic, I'm sure you're happy that when it's numbered the 47, you can expect Guo to be in the front. When it's numbered the 1, I don't think you're ever going to do that ever again.
Yeah, well, there's a reason that when Rowe won the title the next year, we didn't bring him in the 1, so we won't do that again. But yeah, I mean, he's been a title contender at the final race for 3 of the 4 seasons, so I'm obviously very happy to see that continue. Like we said at the top of the show, it's going to take a lot. I'm not holding my breath by any means, but maybe he can pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, Guo, especially from my experience, is definitely someone who can pull things off when pressure is on the most. Obviously, it's not looking in his favor, and it's a very much an outside chance, like an under 1% chance of actually making it happen, but it's not impossible. Unlikelier things have happened, so I don't know, I'm just excited for this race.
Absolutely. Clock is ticking before we send it up to the booth. Garrett, I know you've got driver intros here in a little bit, so we'll have to get this going, wrap it up. But championship scenarios, if Lamar wins, he's the champion. I would say top 7 is where you would need to finish to secure. You're rolling off 16th here. Have you guys talked? You guys were pretty solid in practice. Any talks before the race? Have you guys made any setup changes heading into today, or are you just gonna try to see where it plays out?
We haven't made any setup changes. We really like where the car's at, especially over the long run. I think we've got the car to go drive up there and make sure there's no risk of losing this thing. And even if there is a little risk, I think I'm confident enough in my own abilities to still pull it out. So I believe we're fairly well suited to bring this thing home. I'm excited for the race. We'll have to see how that goes.
Absolutely. Greenhouse, Guthrie, they got to finish top 3 and ahead of Lamar, finishing within 10th to 15th. Those two just need a perfect day, and everybody else, realistically, they need a bad day from Garrett, bad day from Greenhouse, honestly, and a miracle from the Lord above to get them a win, and for everybody else to not finish well. So it's going to be an intriguing battle here for the race. And with our time winding down, let's get into some season superlatives. Why don't we, gentlemen? We'll start off. Our pole award for the year, Robbie Gordoff. I mean, 4 poles from the man who finally got his first win at CTMP. Absolutely ridiculous. I think he set the record for most poles in a career, and this is 4 poles is most poles in a season. It's absolutely wild how Gordoff was able to get 4 poles this year. So we'll move forwards. Our most impressive rookie, we only had a handful of guys going for our rookie of the year. We'll start with you, Sean. Who do you think our most impressive rookie is from this year?
Yeah, I personally think it's Braden Sigafus. He's shown a lot of promising pace, especially racing against them. The way he can drive the car has been mighty, in my opinion. So I would give it to him.
I would agree with that. He's not the highest in points, and he hasn't had the flashiest moments compared to someone like Jeremy Mead. But he's running his own team. It's a single car operation. So I think when you add in that context, relative to his situation, I think he's probably been the most impressive.
I've been saying Sigafus, but I'm going to break away from the herd. I'm going to have to go with Stephen Colon here. He's been very impressive at times throughout the season. He's working tirelessly. He's one of the hardest workers in that entire garage, and he's still putting together good results in a pretty underfunded team. It's very impressive to watch. I'm going to go with him for Rookie of the Year.
I would have to agree with the masses here. I'm going to go Sigafus here. I've really liked what I've seen from the 78. Definitely one of the flashier schemes on track. Really, everybody has a lot of flashy schemes, but I like what I've seen from Cologne too. I have to give it to the 78. Our best race this year, we had a lot of great ones, 17 of them. What are you guys thinking? I think there's a few on the top of my list, but I'll have to see what you guys are saying here.
I'll go first then. So I think the best race here is, it's a tough one. It's Watkins Glen. As painful as it is to say, from the car, that was just so fun. It's such a great track. Obviously, it didn't go my way in the end, but I think from a TV perspective, Watkins Glen definitely provided the best show.
Yeah, I'd have to give it to Fontana. I was in the booth for that one, so I'm a little bit biased, but very entertaining race. Lots of people, lots of lead changes, lots of different contenders. Came down to a very close finish between Justin Haley and Alexander Rowe. Obviously, Haley getting his first career win. I feel like it had everything. There was even drama on pit road, much to my dismay. So I think that race had a little bit of everything for you.
Well, on a more happier note for me specifically, because that race had drama on pit road for me, I'm going to go with my most recent win. I'm going to go with Talladega. Race was very entertaining from start to finish. In the car, I think it probably put on a good show in the booth. And thankfully, I was able to pull it out, and it's really helped my title chances. So, not to toot my own horn too much, but I'm going to have to go with Dega.
Brother. Oh, man. Well, you got 3 races to choose from for the best race, so I guess you picked the most recent one. I would have to say, for me, probably either Watkins Glen or Indianapolis. The Watkins Glen race was just phenomenal to watch. Start to finish, had all the drama, just lead changes from a road course. You don't necessarily see that very too often all throughout the field. But then also Indianapolis, our first time there as a series. I thought we had quite a phenomenal show, a pretty clean race, all things considered. And I think it was a pretty good one. We saw a green-white checkered finish, the 23. Unfortunately, lost it in the end, but to the 54. But I thought it was a pretty good show. From there, we had a lot of great races, a lot of shocking victories. what do you guys think? Most shocking victory this season? We've had a lot of first-time winners and a lot of more impressive ones.
Yeah, I think the most shocking victory I would give to maybe in Atlanta. That race came down to, I didn't think, I mean, maybe was running in the top 5 for most of that day, but for him to come through on that run and take the win was impressive. So I think I would give it to him.
Yeah, I would go with Reed Simpson at Darlington. That's another one that I was in the booth for, so maybe a little bit biased there. But he just didn't really show himself for a lot of last season, and really for much of this season as well. Maybe I feel like he had some races last year where he was pretty close to pulling it off. So I wasn't too surprised to see him get that done. But Reed really came out of nowhere for me at Darlington, so I'd say I was the most surprised by that one.
Me and you are in agreement on that. I'm going to go with Reed at Darlington. Just kind of under the radar all the last year. This year he really came through a lot more consistent, a lot faster, unloaded better, and it paid off there with a big-time upset. Plus a lot of strategy mixed into, and a great finish. How could you not pick this? I'm going to go with Reed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Sean here. The Kyle Maybe at Atlanta, he really was nowhere all day that day, and then second race of the year, he was able to hold off Alexander Rowe. I think it was a phenomenal way to kick off the season. And then I think we'll segue into this. We had a lot of people that improved over last season to this season. What are some of your most improved drivers this season? I think there's a few off the top of my head that I can think of, but had a lot of guys last season that didn't show up, and then this season have had quite the good runs.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's going to be a popular choice for this one, so I think I'll go with Kyle Maybe, and I just talked about him with his Atlanta, but he's done way more than just the Atlanta victory. He's run good at a variety of different tracks. It's just a matter, not going. He's shown pace in a lot of different places, so I think I would give him root.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Christian Visconti, which I'm assuming is the popular choice that you were hinting at. I think he was something like 38th in points last year. He's currently 9th in points. He has that win at Coda from earlier in the season. So, I mean, it's hard to imagine a bigger improvement than that. So I don't think there's really much of a debate here.
A little tough technical difficulties there, but I have a bit of an issue here. I can't decide between who I should choose, so I'm going to split the vote. I'm going to say Christian Visconti and also Reed Simpson. They were 34th, 38th in points last year, and both of them came through completely reinvented this year. Wins for both of them, much improved consistency and results for both of them, and both of them were pretty consistently up near the front of the points table all year long. Huge improvements from them, so in my eyes, I'm going to have to give it to both.
Absolutely. And I'm going to have to agree with the popular choice here. Christian Visconti easily had, he was absolutely nowhere all season last year. He was, like you guys said, 38th in points, second last amongst full-time drivers. Gotta give it to him, I feel like. And driver intros are about to kick off. Sean and Garrett, I know you guys are going to have to motor away. I see Garrett's already fiddling with the cord of his headset, so I know he's getting fancy here to get this championship race underway. Dominic, we'll start with you. Who's your pick for today? Who do you guys think is going to win the race and win the title?
Well, for the title, I hinted at it earlier, but I'm going to go with the boring choice of Garrett Lamar. I really just don't see a path forward for anyone else. It's just going to take such a monumental effort and a little bit of luck as well. I think Garrett is in the catbird seat here for sure. As for the race, I'm going to choose one of my own guys. I know. I'm going to choose to believe that we'll right the ship in the final race and finally get a win. I'm going to go with Henry Guo. He won the race last year with a very, very dominating performance. He's starting 17th, but I like his chances to come through the field. I'm going to go with my guy, Henry.
My apologies. Sorry, I'm just getting a little antsy. So I was initially going to say Henry Guo for the victory as well, but I'll change it up and I'll actually go for a title this time. I think the Squarius Greenhouse Jr. will win the race and the title.
Garrett, I know you've got a little bit of bias here, so we'll exclude you from the championship discussion here. I know you want to be the one holding the trophy at the end of the day. For the race here, I mean, it's going to be a long 67-lap race. You know that your guys have speed. You know everybody else has speed. Who do you think is going to get it done for the race for today?
I think for the race, I think Cook finally goes and gets the monkey off his back. He's been hearing it from the guys in the shop about how he hasn't gotten a win yet. I think today he's going to get that. I think today he's going to exercise that demon. And hopefully it all goes well for me as well. I'm going to go to driver intros now. I'll see you boys later.
That's good. We'll let you guys get away from it, and we will take the bus up to the booth. Dominic and I will. We'll let Sean and Garrett go. Gentlemen, best of luck today, and thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in to LimeCar Race Day. We'll see you all soon.
Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh,
We've made our way to the booth, ladies and gentlemen, for It's Time, Race Time, Season 4 finale, the Championship 400 here at Homestead Miami Speedway, getting set for 67 laps around this 1.5 mile track. Dominic and I are up here in the booth. We had a little bit of a long golf cart ride. We sent Sean and Garrett to their cars, but it's time. We're ready. 7 championship contenders getting ready to see who will take home the trophy after today. 42 drivers in the field. It's not just these 7, but we'll be focusing on these 7 drivers here today, like we just talked about in our pre-race. Dominic, it's great to have you back up here in the booth. 67 laps around this 1.5 mile track. We've seen a lot of action over the last 2 seasons. This will be the 3rd time Homestead has played host to being the championship finale race. What can we expect for our keys to the race?
Yeah, as you said, it's 67 laps around this 1.5 mile intermediate. Pretty long race by LimeCar standards. We got 18 to 20 degrees of variable banking in the corners. Green flag runs and green flag stops should be pretty common here, as they normally are on mile and a half tracks. But like we said at Atlanta and Fontana earlier in the season, this is really a tire eater. You're going to want to save tires, and even if you can make a full 25 to 28 lap fuel run, you're probably going to want tires before that, especially on a short run late in the race. But ideally, we're looking at a 2-stop race, and as you said, the last 2 title races have been right here at Homestead, and they have both ended with a yellow within the final 15 laps, so it's really not over until the checkered flag flies here today.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. How are we going to rack up the field to start? Row 1, Jerry Chen, his first pole of the season alongside Blake Walker. Justin Haley and Michael Guthrie sitting in row 2. Strokey Banger, Aaron Giffen in row 3. Row number 4 is going to move forwards and see Santiago Nicolas and Joe Kraus. Row 5, Logan Williams and Eris Yuko. Making up that row, a lot of strong title contenders in the front half of the field. Alexander Rowe and Anthony Foss with a great qualifying run. Aquarius Greenhouse Jr., Kyle Mabey, in row 7. Row 8, Robbie Gordoff, Garrett Lamar teammates. In row 8, Lamar is starting a little bit further in the back of the field than normal. Henry Guo, last year's winner, and Richard Fridge in row 9. Reed Simpson, Cass Gralla in row 10. Chase Gibbons, Christian Visconti in row number 11. Row 12 is going to move forward to Tyler Cook, Matthew Fastnot, 2 sophomore drivers. Cook looking for his first win. Chris Lilly, Jeremy Mead in row number 13. Mead, the highest rookie in points. Riley Gorse, Christopher Marnell in row 14. Row 15, Ian McDaniel and Jordan Madron. Row number 16 is going to see Cam Arrow and Ryan Barone. Zachary Ponce, Quinton Haley in row 17. We just saw Marnell. He's starting way further back than his other title contenders. Ethan Harrison, Ricardo Garcia in row 18. Row 19, Sean McKean and Braden Sigafus. McKean has a lot of ground to work up for today. Stapleton, Carson Green in row 20. Row 21, your final row, Stephen Pallone and Brayson Collins. We have 67 laps. We're going to go day to night here at Homestead Miami Speedway. It's going to be Jerry Chen from Blake Walker, Michael Guthrie, and Justin Haley, your front 4 drivers. As the green flag flies, we're off and away for the final time in season 4, roaring into turn number 1.
Very even start by the front row there. Normally we see someone get clear by turn 1, but not the case today.
Side by side as they exit turn number 2. Dominic, last year I think we saw the field really span out and spread out, go 3-4 wide in turns 1 and 2. This time, we're very uniform as we enter through turns 3 and 4. As Visconti's in the wall early, he's back in the middle part of the field. It looks like it's going to be Chen who leads lap 1.
Yeah, we actually have an abnormally large amount of title contenders. Even though the gap from first on back is pretty big, the sheer number of people that still are mathematically in contention is bigger than it was last year. So there's probably a lot of people playing it safe early in the race like this.
Last year, we only saw 4 title contenders that were mathematically eligible. And then the season before, in season 2, we really only saw, I think it was 5, but it was a massive points gap from Ian McDaniel and Alexander Rowe. Really, it was Rose from the beginning. We see the 84 and 83, they're fighting together on this bottom lane. The 82 of Giffen sitting right there with them, as we're 3-4 wide for just about 10th place there. As you see the side-by-side ticker, you'll see the top 10 staying on the top half of the screen and the field scrolling on by to 11th on back.
Yeah, very fancy, high-quality ticker we got here. Kind of throwing it back to Season 2 when we had the full field scrolling by. Very high technology here on LimeCar.
Absolutely. LimeCar has figured out a way to have a ticker show more than first place. We'll go on board with 13 of Garrett Lamar sitting right behind last year's winner, Low. Lamar has a little bit of ground to make up, but as we mentioned earlier, he's got a decent points gap because that's Gordoff in the wall.
Yeah, like you said, Lamar is comfortable. I'm sure he's going to want to get up into the top 10 and just get that extra little bit of insurance, but I don't think he's sweating bullets in there necessarily.
Yeah, I think he's got plenty of time and plenty of cushion to be able to maneuver and work himself around, as the 23 of Marnell started way in the back there, Dominic. He was abnormally slow in practice and in qualifying. Marnell, it looks like he's slipped positions from the start, currently in 29th place as shown on the ticker. 3 wide in 3rd place.
Yeah, getting kind of racy up here in the top 5, top 10, but back to Christopher Marnell, that's kind of the tale of the second half of their season. They seemed unstoppable in the first half, and in the second half here, it seems like nothing has been able to go right for them. So I'm sure he's ready to get into the offseason here and reset for Season 5.
As are a lot of our drivers, but here we have Michael Guthrie and Eris Yuko, who just went from the top lane to the bottom, trying to make all lanes work. These Fords are fast, all 4 as Tofo Motorsports Fords within the top 12, expanding that bubble just a little bit as the 52 is just outside of it. But don't look now, Henry Guo and Garrett Lamar have entered this little front pack sort of thing. It's not a plate race, but we kind of have a separation of speed and balance here between the front group.
Yeah, this is certainly more of a pack race than I would have anticipated. I mean, especially when you think back to last year, it was super spread out. I mean, at the finish there between Guo, Marnell, and Williams, who actually were the top 3 in points that season as well, it was super spread out, and they were all running the top by themselves. So this is completely different from what we saw here a season ago.
And as the tires start to wear out, I think we will see the field start to spread, but we still kind of have everybody relatively racing and running with each other, and this front group seems to be running away from the 69 and the 3, who are just back there, Anthony Foss and Kaz Gralla. We'll go on board with Michael Guthrie, currently sitting second in points. There, as you see, the top ticker is going to have points as they run the 13, still leading the points, but that gap to second and third is squeezed in just a little bit, as the 51 is going to fight for this lead when you're coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, and if you're Michael Guthrie, this is exactly what you have to do. I mean, winning the race is essentially all you can do today to control your own destiny. From there, you still need help in the form of a poor result for Garrett Lamar. But if you can win the race, then you're doing all you can.
For a lot of these guys, I would have to say that winning the race is really what you have to do here. You can't do anything more except win the race and just hope that Lamar falters to his own will. I mean, we saw earlier this season the 13 has messed up on pit road, has stumbled really over themselves earlier. Whoa, big wiggle out of the 17 of Logan Williams. I think he got barely to the right rear quarter panel of Aaron Giffen, was able to save it there. But looks like we have some good runs brewing for your boy Logan Williams in the 17, but also Aaron Giffen, who has had not the greatest of seasons, but has been up front at some of these intermediates, like Atlanta and Nashville last week.
Yeah, Aaron really likes those intermediates, especially the ones with high tire wear, as Logan gets into the wall again there for quite a long period. He's still stuck in it, so that's not great. But Aaron won at Atlanta in Season 3, which is a track very similar to this in terms of setup and tire wear, so he's definitely in his wheelhouse.
Ridden riding it, there goes to 62. It looks like he's able to stay clear. Also up here in this top 10, that's Alexander Rowe, who appears to be doing quite solid. Still, lap 13, Dom, we're side by side for this lead still. Michael Guthrie hasn't been able to get past his teammate, Jerry Chen, who I don't think he's doing much of the 51 a favor. I think this is hurting the 51's right rear tires more than it's helping it, but it's not like it's losing them ground. It seems like the field really can't catch up to them either, so maybe it's to their benefit blocking the field like this, but I would have to imagine if you're the 53, being a little bit of a team player and letting the 51 get a healthy gap out in front.
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, Jerry's had a pretty rough season, and I'm sure he's eager to get a result for himself, so I wouldn't necessarily expect him to fully pull over either, but I mean, you mentioned it, we're on lap 15 now, we're essentially halfway through a fuel run, and they're still side by side for many of these positions throughout the top 10, top 15, so it's looking like we have quite an exciting race on our hands.
Justin Haley, Blake Walker still up front here. That's quite a surprise. Haley was able to get the win at Fontana. Blake Walker just hasn't had the season that he's really wanted, especially with his 1-3 teammates like Christian Visconti and Quentin Haley having much better seasons, although Quentin Haley on Dark Horse Racing, Justin Haley on Dark Horse Racing, relatively the same team in the sense that they're built into the same shop. So we'll refer to them as such, that 1-3 Racing, Dark Horse Racing combo. They've been doing quite well, better than last season, albeit with some woes from Ryan Barone, who just hasn't been able to convert his race pace that he normally sees into qualifying pace on a weekend-by-weekend basis.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I think the big bright spot for 1-3 has been the road courses. I mean, Ryan Barone got that win at Sonoma last year. Obviously, Visconti got one at Coda this year, so they seem to have a pretty good road course package. They're pretty hit or miss everywhere else, and unfortunately for them, road courses are a minority of the schedule, but they certainly have those figured out.
Three wide,
as we see Henry Guo here, getting 2 for 1 around the Astolfa cars, so I guess Jerry Chen is really not trying to play nice with Michael Guthrie here, because he let a completely different team just drive right around them. So that's interesting. I'm sure the team meeting tomorrow will be a little bit frisky.
Absolutely, as we'll go on board with the 13 once again. That was a ridiculous move. I mean, the 53 has been running like about a lane down from that top lane. The 47, I mean, what a move from Henry Guo. He's made his way up through the field from 17th on the grid first in about 19 laps. Not only that, he passed where there was barely a car length to go in between the 53 and the wall. So what an impressive move to get the 47 into the lead. He needs a long shot to be able to get it done. This 47 is getting it done here. The caution has come out, I believe, for, looks like the 5 has spun. Brayson Collins, not the season he's wanted. The 5 has brought out the caution for the first time today here at Olmsted.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Not the season he wanted, as Henry Guo leads him back to the line here. He actually showed a lot of promise in Season 3, up front at Rockingham and a few other races as well. I thought he might have been knocking on the door for a win this year, but it's been quite the opposite. A very sharp decline for the 5 team.
Not what they wanted, as the field is going to come down pit road. We're just inside the window for what would have been green flag pit stops, I would have to say, soon. So we'll see what the leaders do here. I'd have to imagine, Dominic, we're going to see 4 tires and fuel for just about everybody.
Yeah, especially all the title contenders and the people who are up front in the race. I don't think you want to do anything silly and get yourself off sequence here. I mean, maybe if you're 30th place, you try to gamble, but certainly 4 tires and the fuel would be the way to go if I were the crew chief.
4 tires and fuel is what the doctor ordered for the 47. Off and away he goes. I believe if things turn out right. Oh, it's going to be Jerry Chen barely edges out the 47. That first place pit box gets Jerry Chen off and away first. Guo is second off pit road. We'll see the rest of the field file out. Pit stops doing Christopher Marnell a world of favor. It looks like he's able to gain about 5 to 10 spots on that pit stop. So it's going to be Jerry Chen who's going to lead us back to the green on lap 24 of 67. Dominic, we've seen a lot of times where the first yellow happens and cautions really don't breed cautions here at Homestead, with it being kind of a high lane dominant track. We might be in store for a pretty long green flag run here. If you're taking a look at our title contenders, Guo is in second, Guthrie in third, the 54 in fourth, the 52 in sixth, Lamar in seventh, Santiago Nicholas in 8th, and Marnell in 18th, as it's Jerry Chen who heads the field on lap 24 of 67.
You know, I'll be really interested to see if Jerry Chen can keep the lead here, because I feel like I kind of get the impression that he's not as fast as the 51 and the 47 behind him. I kind of feel like he was hanging on for dear life there via clean air. So if he gets back in traffic, I'll be interested to see if he can hang on to a top 5 spot.
As it looks like he's floating up the racetrack. The 13 was floating up the racetrack there. Able to keep it clean and green here on lap 25-67. Looks like we had 3 wide in there for a little bit with Kaz Gralla and then back in the back of the pack. 47's peeking for that clean air. Guo has been really good in dirty air. We'll see if he's able to get around with 53 quicker than he was able to last time, although it really didn't take long. Once I was about to mention Guo was there before he made the pass. It looked like he came into the picture and immediately made his presence known by taking the lead 3 wide. But here's the 13 making his move on the bottom lane. Not too much of a bottom lane here at Homestead here, Dominic. I would say it's more of a middle groove, but you don't see many people wrapping that white line.
Yeah, definitely not. It's definitely more of a middle to high groove track, but I mean, just picking them off one at a time is what Lamar has to do here. Don't put yourself in any sort of crazy situation. High percentage moves, and just make sure you keep it underneath you.
Aside for the lead, it looks like Woe has gotten to the side of the 53. He's going to get it done. Out of the corner, a little bit of a wiggle there. I think the 53 actually got loose. Woe overcompensated. Not like it was too much for him to handle, as the 51's going to put a little air on the right rear quarter panel of the 53. That's going to slow him down just enough for Guo to clear on lap 28 of 67.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Michael Guthrie is getting a little bit sick of looking at the rear bumper of the 53 car. If he starts racing him a little bit more aggressively, if anything, I feel like being a teammate might make him more annoyed. But they're playing nice so far.
On board with the 23, not the familiar back bumpers that the 23 is used to be seeing, especially not at Homestead. The same scheme that he won the title with last year, barely bouncing off the wall goes Foss. Naturally able to follow suit on the bottom. I'd have to say these fresh tires are going to be able to run this middle groove just as well as the high groove. Here's Richard Ridge put in 3 wide on them, as Lamar is continuing to pick off these front group of drivers one by one. These guys that started 16th, 17th, 47, and 13, they're slowly working their way to say this qualifying run is a little bit of a fluke because they are the fastest cars on track.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Garrett in pre-race, and he put on a confident face, but I do think he was a little bit nervous under the surface there about his qualifying run, and, you know, obviously not where he wanted to start, but he's proven that he definitely has a better race car than qualifying car.
Absolutely. Shocking, very shocking of a qualifying performance, really, from all of Price's Racing team. Most poles out of the team over the last 2 seasons. Robbie Gordoff with 7 poles over the last 2 seasons. Lamar with a fair handful. Tyler Cook with a few. Marnell with a few. All these guys really just didn't qualify too impressively, which is not what I would say the doctor ordered. The 51 and 54, as we change the subject a tiny bit, get by the 53 of Chen. So that's the 2 title contenders now, 2nd and 3rd. The 51 has moved his way just ever so slightly into 2nd place there in the point standings. Just 24 points back of Lamar, who is hanging inside this top 5, is all he needs to do.
Yeah, Michael Guthrie is finally dispatched of Jerry Chen, and now he's got a different one of his teammates to worry about. The boss man behind him here, who also appears to have a really fast car. I think the 51 and the 53 started off well, but now the 47 and the 54 and the 13 here are looking like they're going to be tough to beat over the course of this 35 laps that we have left.
Speaking of Robbie Gordoff, who is our high pole man, has the most poles this season, did not qualify amazingly in 33. He's mired back in what appears to be damn near dead last. Not too phenomenal for the 33. They had a slow pit stop and they just have not moved their way forward.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a similar thing that we've seen before out of the 33 team, where they just end up in the back and they don't progress. I mean, we saw something similar at Darlington, albeit they started off with a lot more speed at Darlington. But I mean, ultimately, they're not in title contention. They already got the monkey off their back in terms of a race win at CTMP a couple weeks ago, so I think they're poised to start Season 5 strong.
I feel like next season will be the jump for them to go from race winning contention to title contention. There's definitely levels to this here in LIMECAR, as Jordan Madron dives to the bottom trying to make it 3 wide. We'll cut away from it to see Santiago Nicolas working on the 52 for about 8th or 9th, or I think that's 7th or 8th place here. There's definitely levels to it. We saw last season a lot of these guys were kind of in the race-winning contention bubble, but not the title contending bubble. And then now that bubble has kind of expanded to where you see a lot of guys that are in title contention and race-winning contention, but like with the 52, with Squares Greenhouse Jr., hasn't been able to get a win in his career and is in title contention. So we'll see how that moves is the 51 looking to battle with the 47 here. Guo squeezing him to the bottom there. Guthrie right on the back bumper of Henry Guo.
Yeah, it looks like the 51 is not going to go down here. I thought when Yuko got up there behind him that his days might be numbered at the front of the field, but he's hanging tough, and maybe it was just saving tires there to make a second push for the lead, but he's back on it now.
And I think that's what you kind of have to do. We'll go on board with the Charlotte, North Carolina native. I think that's what you kind of have to do here at Homestead. You have to kind of play a little bit of mind games with the people that are in front of you. Obviously, with Guo, you kind of have to go as hard as the people that are behind you are letting you. And with Guthrie saving some tire, I think this is quite helpful for his case to try and push for the lead and get some more valuable points. 54, Yuko sitting in third place, hasn't made up much ground after getting from 5th place to 3rd place a few laps ago.
Yeah, and part of me is wondering if Yuko recognizes that if his team is going to win the championship, it's a long shot either way, but Michael has the better chance than he does, so maybe he's just going to sit back and let him do his thing here for a few laps. But we're about halfway through the second stint here on fuel and tires.
Just about halfway, and we have gone green for quite some time. Here's Marnell slowly but surely working his way through the field here. Not the day that I think Marnell has anticipated nor wanted, although I think you could probably say that about the last 4 or 5 weekends for the Marnell camp. They finished second last week, but aside from that, just not the results that they've wanted over the last few races. We've brought this storyline up quite a few times, but I mean, really, when you talk about Marnell, it's kind of what you have to talk about. You can't look at the good races without sitting there and not seeing the bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in pre-race. It seems like over the past 5 or 6 weeks, it's been a split between either top 5 or below 30th. And today is kind of in between, where he's just kind of middling around there in the mid-pack. But you gotta minimize the bad days, even if you're not top 5 every week with a season-long format like this. You just have to minimize the sub-30th place finishes, which has been our downfall this season at DAF Racing. So that's definitely something they got to clean up. Sometimes you just got to take the 15th place if that's what your car is going to give you.
Yeah, and I feel like trying to extract more out of the car than what's given to you has been maybe a little bit of a problem from the 23 camp. We've maybe seen a little bit too much push out of them some weekends and maybe not enough push out of some other weekends, but still a very valiant result last weekend at Nashville. The 54 sails it into turns 3 and 4. He's bouncing off the wall. Lamar is going to make that pass. These tires are wearing out quickly, and Yuko, I think he found the limit of his, maybe a bit too far.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's definitely what you don't want to do in this situation. I mean, you're sitting P3, maybe you don't have the pace to go make a push for the lead, but at least you can be a rear gunner for your teammates. So, pretty costly mistake there for Yuko.
Yeah, not optimal, as hopefully not too much damage on that 54 car, as Guo has planted himself in the lead. It looks like we've gotten single file. Chen has kind of fallen off there behind the 83 of Santiago Nicolas after leading the first handful of laps.
Yeah, Santiago Nicolas, he's another one of our guys that's mathematically in contention for the title here. He's had a really strong season. We talked about it in pre-race, coming off a good run at Nashville last week. As with most people, it's a total long shot, but he's making sure that he at least makes a run at it here and up in the top 5.
He's at least trying to put some fight to him. He did have a good run last week and has been slowly but surely working on his intermediate track game, which has been kind of a downfall for him over the last few seasons. We'll see the entire field fly by here, but to be a championship contender, you have to be good at really almost every style of track, and it seems like the 83 slowly but surely is working on the sim, trying to work out a way to be able to get it done at every type of track. It's the 23 working hard against the 37. And here's Garrett Lamar side by side with Michael Guthrie. So don't look now, but the 13 making a move for second place here. Just past halfway, entering on what should be our second, or our first round of green flag pit stops and our second pit stop cycle of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Lamar is he's wanting to win the race and the title here. He's not just going to take the 7th place finish that he needs to seal it. He's going to go up there and overachieve and get some extra credit, I guess. But very impressive run from the midfield up to second place here.
Absolutely. From both him and Guo, pretty good runs up to the midfield. I'm hearing from the pit crew box. Unfortunately, we don't have Charlie Lamar with his all-hearing scanner up here telling us when people are going to pit. But it looks like we might see pit stops in about 5 laps, give or take. I see people on the pit wall trying to get ready. Haven't seen pit crews on the pit wall yet, but seems like motion is getting in the ocean down on pit road in the next few laps. The 52, Desiree Greenhouse Jr., just outside the top 10. I think just barely in 10th. I think it's crunch
talking
time
about pit stops
52.
there. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, talking about pit stops there, if you're deep in the field and you're looking to short pit and maybe undercut some people, we're getting to that time now. I mean, obviously, with the traditional window would be between lap probably 55 to 60. But if you're looking to make a gain there and potentially put yourself on fresh tires faster, the window is open to do that now and maybe get some cheap spots, even if you're going to be hanging on towards the back end of the run.
I mean, we have seen, like you said, the Larry Mack trend. Say there has been a yellow with 15 laps to go or less the last 2 races here. Will that happen today? I'm not sure. Big damage under the side of the 17. That's not good for Logan Williams. Looks like he tank slapped the wall hard.
Yeah, we saw him in the wall earlier. It looks like he might have found it 1 or 2 more times, but still keeping pace up here in the top 15. So maybe not too bad. Side by side with his teammate there, Richard Fridge.
3 wide for Riley Gorse in the middle. Backs out with Tyler Cook, and it looks like we've got quite a few people coming down pit road here. Dominic on lap 51. 62, Giffen is going to lead the charge. He was in the top 10. Jordan Madron in the 68. The 14, handful of people. Looks like 5 to 10 guys coming down pit road. Wonder what the doctor's ordering. I'm going to have to imagine 4 tires and fuel for just about everybody. You can make it from here.
Yeah, especially when you're the first one to pit. I think taking 2 tires would be a little bit risky, but we see our leaders coming down here, pretty much the entire top 4.
Lamar stays out to take the lead. Everybody else in this top 10 comes down pit road. A clean entry into his pit box for the 47 and the 23. That has been the story all season, so glad to see for those guys to be able to get a clean way in. The only cars left out on the track here are the 13 and 53, and they will cycle onto pit road now on lap 52.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on the 13 crew right here, but you just got to execute and not do anything stupid. You don't have to gain any spots, you just don't want to lose a ton.
Marnell wins the race off pit road. He took 2 tires in front of the 47. Big gamble for the championship contender, as he's going to, for now, take the lead, barring where the 13 comes out from. The 47 was your leader, would be sitting in second. The 62 of Giffen is going to sit in 4th behind the 51. We're pretty spread out after this stop. The 13 took 2 tires.
Man, he looks like he's going to have quite the gap here for Garrett Lamar. That's pretty impressive, but 2 tires at the same time. I mean, look, the 47 has already caught the 23, so 2 tires is maybe not the play here, but he does have quite the gap to play with.
Quite the gap to play with, both points and time on track. 47 is going to rocket by the 23. It looks like it's a pretty decent straightaway, about half a straightaway to the 13 for the 47 to try and make up to the 13, who's going to exit corner here. I mean, he's way slower than the 40, who was basically last on track. I don't think 2 tires was the play here, Dom. That was not a smart strategy call. They're riding on practically 35 lap old tires on the left side.
Yeah, I mean, the 47 is obviously going to catch him here. It's just going to be a matter of how quickly can you get by him with the 51 pretty close behind you. It's going to be a race to the lap traffic for these guys in terms of the race win.
The 83 of Santiago Nicolas had a very poor pit stop. 4 tires in fuel, but they had to make a few adjustments. Didn't anticipate how long these adjustments would take. They only had a 12-second stop, but that has dropped them to 17th place as the 47 has rocketed by the 13th. I mean, he caught them in the span of me talking about Nicholas. Man, that 47 is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as good of a job as you could do there in terms of time lost. I'm sure Guthrie's going to repeat it here. Yeah, pretty flawless job by both those guys to just drive right around the outside. So seems like it'll be a straight-up race between these two from here on out.
For sure, as the 13 is going to try to hang on. Where did Jordan Madron come from? The 68, I think 2 weeks in a row, the 68 has had phenomenal pit stops, and Madron is going to be sitting firmly in 3rd place here. Yuko is sitting in 5th place, and that 13 is sliding down. Take a look at that points gap along the top. Keep a close eye on it. That 51 is currently in what I would believe to be 4th or 5th place. Big gaggle of cars here. The 53 is holding up a lot of these guys as he's already fell down to 14th or 15th place. So not the gamble for Jerry Chen. With 10 laps to go right here.
Yeah, and his strategy mate there, Garrett Lamar. I mean, we've talked about it at length that he had a gap to play with, but I mean, he is really slow right now. So I'm sure if he's been nervous at all today, then it's right now, because I don't think losing 20 spots is totally out of the question here. I wouldn't call it likely, but I don't think it's impossible. It's certainly the most at risk he's been all day.
Oh, the 52 barely stays off the wall, getting by Christopher Murnell, who is trying to play good teammate, just not able to do it. So the 52, as the yellow has come out.
Oh man,
here.
So this could either be a blessing or a curse for Garrett Lamar. If everyone stays out, then everyone's packed up and ready to take a shot at him, but maybe everyone will pit and get him back on equal footing. It could go either way.
Could go either way. I think if you're Lamar, you're going to have to follow suit what everybody in front of you does. If they pit, you got to pit. If they stay out, you got to stay out. But the yellow has come out for debris here on lap with 8 laps to go at Homestead.
Yeah, I mean, especially the 51. I think you got to do what he does. I don't think the 47 is a huge threat with how far behind he is in points, even if he wins the race. But I think you got to set yourself up for your best finish relative to the 51 car, whatever that may be.
And nobody comes down pit road. Not a soul. So we'll be restarting.
Yeah, I'd say they're getting quite nervous on top of the 13 box, but luckily for them, we're only going to have 4 laps to go here. So they don't have to hold on for long.
It's going to be quite the finish here. The 5th, remember, 20 spots may be the amount of points, but don't forget it is a 10-point jump from 1st to 2nd. So if the 51 jumps to 1st, 13 is going to be sweating a lot more. Whoa leads. Guthrie 2nd. The 54 of Yuko in 5th. Lamar in 6th. Discorious Greenhouse Jr. in 9th. Green flag is out. 4 to go at the stripe. Whoa, with a massive advantage on the jump on the restart. It's exactly what the 13 needs, but he's going to have to hold steady if he wants to win here. He wins the title here at Homestead, but we're going to have an all-out battle for the lead and all-out battle for the championship. The 23, you see him back there, and the 13, they're just plugging up traffic. They are slow as all get out. And the field, really by him.
Yeah, they're already starting to hear Gibbons and Greenhouse get to the inside there. Perfect jump on that restart for Henry Guo. Now he's just got to focus forward and do what he did last year, just run the top and bring it home in one piece. But Man, this is going to be interesting here.
The 51 sitting in second place. He needs to hope at the 13 loses as all those spots that he can do. He's just getting passed left and right by everybody here, even his own teammate Tyler Cook. We're side by side up front, but it's all Henry Guo out front, 2 to go at the stripe. The 13's got to hang on for just 3 more miles.
Yeah, and I mean, if Michael Guthrie makes a late run here at Henry Guo for the race lead, then Garrett Lamar is in trouble, because that 16-point gap would become only 5 or 6. So right now he's in a good spot.
43 is playing good teammate there, holding off the 27. The 52 has launched himself past Chase Gibbons. Final lap here at Homestead. That's a 1.5 second gap to the 51. 1.5 miles to come home for Guo to win back-to-back,
Yeah,
and for Lamar to win his first title.
At this point, it's only a mistake from the 47 that can help out Guthrie here, both in terms of the title and the race win, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Smooth sailing through turns 3 and 4. Crew chief coaching him through for the second year in a row. Henry Guo wins the final race of the year, and for the first time in his career at the stripe, it's going to be Garrett Lamar, who barely hangs on to win the title.
And they really made it a lot more exciting than it needed to be right there, but they pulled it off after coming in with a really big gap. They executed like they needed to, so good job by those guys.
Great job by the 13 crew. Consistency was the name of their season, or the lack thereof, but they were able to get it done. And your winner for the second year in a row at Homestead, burning it down, Henry Guo. Dominic, I'm sure you've got a golf cart waiting to go down and celebrate, but man, what a phenomenal race. Going from 17th on the grid to the lead in 19 laps. He's going to burn it down. He's pretty used to this victory lane.
I'll tell you what, championship be damned. I'm just happy that we got a race win this year, because we waited until the very last opportunity to do it. So I'm glad that we could keep that streak up. Really, really good drive by Henry today.
Henry Guo, Michael Guthrie, Yuko, Madron with a 4th place finish, Aaron Giffen with a 5th place finish. That is your top 5. Greenhouse, Gibbons, Lilly, Nicholas, Walker, your top 10. Alexander Rowe with an 11th place finish. I'm sure you're happy to see that. Tyler Cook, 12th. Richard Fridge ends the season with the 13th. As we move on down throughout the field, Jerry Chen, after his strategy call, finishes 32nd. Marnell finishes 26th there. I mean, that's just insane how 2 tires just didn't work. I didn't expect 2 tires to be that slow versus 4 tires.
Yeah, that's really brutal for Jerry Chen to show the speed that he had today. I mean, he wasn't going to win either way, but he was looking like he could hold on for a top 5 or a top 10 there. But to end up 32nd is really unfortunate.
And the 13, who was waiting on the front stretch for the 47 to make his rounds, will bounce off the wall twice. He'll have to remember how to do a burnout.
I was going to say, just making sure he clears tech.
The 13, I don't think there's much to need to be clear. I think that car was about as stock legal as could get with how slow they were moving. But a little bit less of a points gap than they would have wanted, but Lamar's able to get the championship done here at Homestead. Greenhouse 2nd, Guthrie 3rd, Yuko 4th. Whoa, unfortunately, Marnell with the 2nd title run. Tyler Cook in 8th place, Visconti 9th, and Jordan Madron tied for 10th place with Strokey Banger in the point standings. I think that's quite the feat to be seen from the owner-driver there. The rest of the field scrolls on through. Jerry Chen ends out with a... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, it looks like I'm going to end up best of the part-timers here, so nice little win for myself there.
Congratulations there, Mr. Dominic. 43rd.
It pays big. It pays big.
Hey, man, I heard it does. Pretty big paycheck. Yeah, hopefully you get it awarded at the the all 25 cents at the awards banquet. Don't spend it all in one place.
I will. Maybe I'll go to Steak and Shake and get me a gumball or something.
Yeah. So great race here at Homestead for the second year in a row. Drama where drama was not needed, but we still had quite the finish. As Lamar is able to get it done, Henry Guo is able to win the race. Dom, I'm sure you're happy to see one trophy enter your stable after this season. What a race and what a season.
Yeah, that was a very exciting finale. Kind of reminded me a little bit of season 2, where it looked like it was decided, and then it looked anything but decided at the end. But very entertaining finale, very entertaining season as a whole. CRT was so good this year. They definitely deserve having one of their drivers win the championship. Very, very strong performance across the board for them. Same for Astolfo Motorsports. I mean, to have 3 guys in title contention. Jerry Chen wasn't in title contention, but he put up a very good run today. I think he'll be a threat next year. So yeah, some very good storylines heading into season 5.
Absolutely. And the off season should be fun. I heard the league owner has some fun little events planned for some of these guys to improve and keep their racecraft going, but Season 5 certainly should be a fun one. The silly season is upon us, but I think a lot of these guys are just antsy to get back in the car. 18 races is quite the healthy amount of races in the season, but I'm sure with some of these guys having great runs to end the year, like a Jordan Madron, like a Aaron Giffen, I'm sure they're ready to just get back going and race for next year.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. On one hand, I'm definitely ready after what we showed today, but on the other hand, I'm kind of looking forward to this reset after how the season went before today. So, kind of getting the best of both worlds on our side. But like you said, I'm sure a lot of people will be ready to go because lots of good runs today from people that you wouldn't necessarily expect it from.
Absolutely. From all of us here, we thank you guys for tuning in and watching. It was a phenomenal race and a phenomenal season. We will see you guys next time for the next season, Season 5 of the LIMECAR Sim Racing Challenge. So long and see you in Daytona.